Welcome to the Market Smarter, Sell More podcast. I'm your host, Andy Barnett, joined as always by my co-host, the man who puts Hayes in the Hayes group. How we doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. Good to be back.
Yeah.
We have got a long episode today, so we are going to keep our segment nice and short.
Let's get right to it.
So let's get right to it. After this break, we will be back with our guest. If you've ever damaged your tires driving over a pothole or gotten into a fender bender because of a poorly paved parking lot, then you know the importance of high quality pavement. Hasco Inc., located in Lebanon, Indiana, is here to make sure all your driving and parking experiences throughout central Indiana go as smoothly as possible. Their asphalt contractor services cover everything from crack filling to repaving, so you can trust Hasco to provide a solution to any pavement problem. Don't let a rundown parking lot drive customers away. Take care of those pesky potholes and turn to a proven and trusted asphalt and concrete contractor. Turn to Hasco. Welcome back to the Market Smarter, Sell More podcast. We're now joined by our guest, Dr. Todd McDougle, also known as the Strongman Doc with In Chiropractic and Wellness. He's the president and CEO. Also our next door neighbor and good friend. How we doing, Doc?
I am just happy to be in you guys' presence.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. This is great. I'm so excited.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So tell us what you do.
What do I do?
Yeah. If you had to describe it in like 3 sentences.
Elevator pitch, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we kind of touched base on this just a little while ago, Andy and I. Basically, I'm the chiropractic doctor who thinks completely outside the box and fixes everything that everyone else fails at.
How did you get to be that?
Well, I think it all begins with, a background of someone who suffered a severe accident, had an arm stuck in a machine for 8 minutes while it was trying to eat me, and fortunately survived that. Had the threat of nearly losing an arm. Ended up having multiple surgeries, very significant surgeries, almost died during those surgeries, and came out at a whopping heavy 165 pounds on a 6'3" frame, and was told I would never do weightlifting again, was told I'd probably never get on the bodybuilding stage again, was told that my life was pretty much over. And in workman's comp, it's all about churn and burn until you run out of money. At least it is here in Indiana, from my perspective. And end result is you get a consolation prize of a lifetime of disability and potential disability check. And, grew up in a farming community. We do it yourself. We fix ourselves. We pick ourselves up. We brush the dirt off. And if we got a big old hole in us, we put dirt in it, and then we go on.
So failure wasn't even an option for you.
Well, you know what? It's interesting, isn't it? That, it feels as though society today glorifies the handicap. It glorifies the fallen to a point that it becomes failure is greatness. That's not, when you don't have the opportunity for somebody to pick you up, you have to do it yourself. You don't have a choice. And I'm kind of an independent sort. And so for me, it's like, okay, I don't know where I'm going to go with this, but I know here is not the place. And being handicapped is not an option, even though I technically am. But now I take care of the top strength athletes, the strongest people, the largest people on planet Earth with a bad arm.
So let's talk about that. So how did you get involved with the strongman community?
Well, there was a fella in Kokomo, Indiana by the name of Chad Coy who owned Powerhouse Gym. And we connected about a year before I graduated, actually. And then afterwards, again, ended up in his gym, training in his gym, doing strongman things. Well, remember the handicap part? Yeah. So, and it just so happened that we had met that year before, at a bodybuilding event that I was in, and I won the overall best poser out of 60 plus 70 people on stage. And that's pretty good with a guy that had no lats, those big wings on your back. They'd cut both of those out. I'd overdeveloped my back anyway.
Wow.
And missing half of my right arm. And I still have the sword hanging on my wall at home, as a cool gift, for winning that spot. Well, a year later, it's like, okay, now I'm doing strongman. Well, he had me beefed up all the way to, I think he had me at 265 pounds with a 32, 33-inch waist. That's just crazy. And that's missing half my body. So you figure if you go ahead and consider, how much your muscles in your back weigh, I probably would have been nearing 300 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
On that which is a far cry difference from that injured hospital state of 165 pounds.
Right.
So, 100 pounds of meat that, you put on your body. So Chad was an amazing person, but he had asked me, he says, hey, listen, he said, I love chiropractic. I really do. But he's like, the problem is that after I get adjusted, I feel sprung and I just have no power. And it takes me days, many days before I'm able to go ahead and lift maximally to my potential again.
Right.
And he's like, you need to come up with some way to, circumvent that. And I'm like, wow, this is, wow, I have to put my thinking cap on because, in chiropractic, it's, they teach you the very basics, I guess, if you will, in chiropractic college. And so you do this and this and this and this and this. Well, fortunately for me, I was exposed to a Dr. Ron Frogley, which had many, many family members that were chiropractors also. But he was known as the wizard in our student clinic. And knowing that my hand didn't bend the same way, my arm wouldn't straighten the same way and things along those lines, I spent a lot of time with him and kind of figured out ways around my handicap or my physical barriers, if you will, to go ahead and accomplish the task. Well, that fit perfectly into what Chad's asking me, right? And so we started on an experiment to say, okay, what works, what doesn't work, and also why is it that you're feeling sprung? What is going on? So about that same time in the mid 90s, the athletic community, the coaching community, the exercise phys community got away from this thing called static stretches and ballistic stretches. Well, and the whole issue had to do with Chad's concern, which was that neuromuscular recruitment. In other words, if you're going to go ahead and lift, you want as many muscle fibers engaged as possible. You want your entire nervous system engaged as much as possible, right? Because that there creates strength and power, increasing your force. With that, you're able to go ahead and maximize your potential of any lift that you do, okay? And so looking at that, it became very apparent when you consider that research-wise, in excess of 90% of chiropractic doctors will go ahead and put a person into a side position, bring it to tension, and then bump it through the multitude of joints that are all interconnected through sinew, muscle, neurological, tendon, bone, all this, right? Well, how is that different than a static stretch followed by a ballistic stretch? Static is bad. Ballistic blows out the rest of it. As a chiropractor doing strength sports, what we discovered is we're doing the very thing that the entire strength community or the athletic community got away from and moved to a thing called dynamic warm-up. All I had to do was come up with a means to go ahead and not do the stretching and then still be able to execute the adjustment. So I chose the drop table mechanism to do that, which actually entered into chiropractic in 1961 at Palmer School of Chiropractic, which is kind of cool. So anyway, so what I've done is I've taken those drop table maneuvers, if you will, applied it in a different kind of way where I have a short lever high velocity burst application, which circumvents the stretch receptors, resulting in athletes that actually are up to 20% stronger immediately off the table.
Wow.
There's no loss of power, which that's what our goal is, right?
Right.
And so it's interesting. Now I do lectures and whatnot. I'm the only person on the planet talking about this, that not all chiropractic applications are the same, that the chiropractic application choice should be sports specific, but also, I mean, we get that it should be patient specific, right?
Sure.
However, there are many people that are out there who really don't diversify in their skill sets enough to go ahead and be able to accommodate each patient that walks in.
Mhm.
So anything that you do with thought, and critical thinking is something that seems as though is lacking in today's world, but you have to process and look through what it is that's happening in live time and apply and change direction based upon the need of the person you're taking care of.
Sure.
And that has to be fast. And that's another component that I've developed in strength sports, is an algorithm that is so fast, so dynamic, and the athletes are able to go out, get off that table, and go win that $75,000 purse.
Wow. So how did you go from the development of the method that you've developed and came up with? How did you go from that to getting it not only introduced to the strongman community, but getting it embraced and
Well,
becoming kind of known as the go-to guy there?
Well, it's interesting. As with most business ventures, I guess, if you will, or ideas, probably more importantly, nothing ever is accepted immediately.
Sure. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially if it goes against the grain. Like I said, 90+% of the chiropractors out there are using side posture. Plus, then now you have, athletic trainers trying to do chiropractic application. You have massage therapists trying to do applications, chiropractic application. You have physical therapists that are even telling their patients, we're doing the same thing. Well, that's kind of not good. I'm not trying to knock anybody here, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, one, education, two, follow through with things. But how it all became, it all started with the athletes. The athletes themselves are the ones who are the people in demand, right? So with what it is they wanted to achieve, I had to figure out how to make it work in each case. Now, here's the thing. A lot of strength athletes come to you, they're already broken. They're broken the day of contest.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's just the reality of it all. All right. They're still competitive, right? But they're still busted. So I had to figure out how to not just do a chiropractic adjustment, but how to maximize their body that day of the event and work around the damage that they brought
so
with
they
them.
can perform to
Right.
their peak ability. Yeah.
So it's a very unusual education that I received from the athletes I took care of. It's very, very interesting, right? And as time went on, it was like, oh, that's the guy. That's the guy you go to. 25 years later, it took me 25 years to get to the point that I could actually work World's Strongest Man. Because the consideration is why do we need another doctor? And especially, why would we need a chiropractor?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But I also knew that the strongman organization, especially, when I went out and was hired by UCLA to go out and work with their chiropractic doctor on technique, and then run into another fine young fellow by the name of Eric Blum, and showed them my technique version of chiropractic. And I mean, it changed Eric's career. Eric became the chiropractor for the LA Dodgers a couple times.
Wow.
So it was a course correction for him, which was fun, right? But how cool is it to go from that and then be able to go ahead and be part of the think tank for USA Swimming at the USOC in Colorado Springs, or, to then, just to keep expanding. The sport of strongman, though, was always the anchor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because strength and performance, regardless of sport, that's what most people have as a foundation, right? So I also discovered, while I was, going through the process in developing, I'd reach out to some of the people that were already in the colleges. No answer. And you think, well, okay, well, listen, if you're onto something amazing, why wouldn't the colleges embrace it? Why is the NFL not calling me today? Why is the, Major League Baseball not calling me today to help train their chiropractors so that they can go ahead and be the best that they could be. Their athletes could be the best they be. Well, it's kind of like the hospital systems. Why aren't they calling? Hey, listen, you know what? You'd be great in the ER. You'd be great in pediatrics. You'd be great in orthopedics. Because you're looking at things from a completely different, vantage. Now, I'm not going to answer that question. I'm just going to let the audience think, why? Why?
Yeah.
And I think to some degree, it's a status quo thing. But also at the same time, billions of dollars are being made.
Sure. That's
in failure.
Ultimately in the root of everything, isn't it?
So let's talk about, you've developed your own method. It's called the McDougle Chiropractic Method, correct?
Yes.
So
we can't call it technique. Do you know why? Because it's not a technique until the colleges approve it.
Right.
How interesting is that?
Well,
there's politics, right?
Method will do. The most important thing is that you're using your own unique method that you've developed, and you're applying it to all walks of life. So it's not just strongmen. It's people like me. I am clearly not a strongman competition guy. You can tell by my physique.
Drummer, though.
Yeah, I can swing the drumsticks pretty fast, but
faster now.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to talk about my own personal experience with your practice, because I've been going to chiropractors my entire life. I, like you, had a traumatic injury as a young kid and broke my back, went through the windshield of a car, just severe injury. So I think you saw it show up on film, right? When you were doing the films on me.
Yeah, you're still kind of like an accordion.
Yeah. So anyway, I've consumed chiropractic services my entire life. And so I have a really good familiarity with, the types of services that are available out there to the general public. And when I came across you and your method, and meeting you next door, going through your services, it's a completely different experience. Talk to people that may be going to a regular, everyday chiropractor, how you're different, why you're different. I could give my perspective, and I will after you answer that question.
I think the first thing that I have to be cautious of is, I'm on different state associations. I'm in an international association, things along those lines. Anything that I say is not to take away from my fellow colleagues.
Right.
Sure.
Okay. And I want to be very, very clear. And so I some of the things that I'll say, and as time has gone on, as I've gotten older, I've learned to parse my words a little bit better.
I find that hard to believe.
It is very hard to believe, because I do use a lot of them, and I am more like a hammer. Trust me, I'm a politician. But no, I think that there is a level of chiropractic that comes out of the colleges that is a good application for a lot of people. Okay. In many instances, it's very, very generic. I've even had classmates tell me, Todd, you think way too much, man. But I just do the same thing they taught me in school, and it's good enough. Yet at the same time, I remember, going to a seminar many years ago, and I listened to the old guys talk, in the middle of a technique seminar, and they would go ahead and say, yeah, well, he was able to go ahead and get that leg straightened out, and it's the same length, but after that guy walks around for a while, it's going to get short again. And I'm like, well, let's do something different then. Let's figure out why that is. Let's unravel this. Let's take this mystery and let's make it better.
Sure. It sounds like you have a lot of curiosity, and that curiosity it's fueled you well.
Yeah,
obviously.
but it's been beneficial.
Well, in your profession, that curiosity isn't typically rewarded.
That's what it sounds like. Kind of one size fits all was kind of status quo, and that was good enough.
I think so. And so I say those things. I bring it up in that kind of layer, because it's important to see that not everybody is a thinker. All right. Some people are a monkey see, monkey doer. Does that make sense? And again, I'm trying very hard not to be insulting here to anybody.
Right.
But some people just don't have the acumen to go ahead and dig deeper and see what's in front of them and say, okay, course correction.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Sure. Sure.
You know,
And
not everybody.
I don't think it's critical too. Just so you know, you're not coming across critical. It's a known fact, and that applies to any industry and group subset of people. You don't always have people challenging it. A lot of people are happy to just follow along with what's always been done. So I don't think that's necessarily a negative. They're probably great at other things.
Well, and I think, you know, to that point, it's like being a painter. You know, some people are good paint by numbers, other people are artists.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, within the chiropractic profession, it's the same kind of thing. Not everybody is an artist. You know, and so as you know, what we see in the profession is that in order to accommodate a poorly executed adjustment, which, listen, becoming good at anything takes time.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right.
And but it's something also, you know, that you have to feed. You know, it's like the old Indian proverb, you know, which wolf wins, you know, well, the one you feed, right?
Yeah.
And so I think to some degree, the handicap lies in the fact it costs $300,000 now to be a doctor of any kind. The return on investment to be a chiropractor really is lousy, unless you're able to go ahead and feed into an established program. And this is why we see a lot of people going into franchises, chiropractic franchises, where everybody does exactly the same thing. It's a cookie cutter format. The cookie cutter format works again for a large number, but there is no I or me or anything that leads to specialty. That kind of rhymed.
Right.
Yeah, I think, you know, to give you confirmation of exactly what you're talking about right now, I'm a unique case for you, right? In that I'm a unique case for a traditional chiropractor that's just going through the method, helping 80% of the patients, right? I'm a special, unique use case.
Well, and to your point, just, you know, with scoliosis, you know, just throwing that out there.
Yes.
Not saying you have it or don't, all right? But with people with these curvatures like that, do you know there's no formalized education in chiropractic on that?
Right.
Not in school, yet almost all the chiropractors have had that on their website at one time or another. Public beware.
Yeah.
Right.
And so back to my, you know, personal experience with chiropractors, I think this is important for people listening that are going to a typical chiropractor. Probably a lot of them, even including me, I was experiencing relief by going to a chiropractor,
Absolutely.
right? But I also had the awareness that it could be better. And that to have it be better, I needed to see somebody that was thinking outside of the box that could do the type of chiropractic that I need for me personally. And I think those are the people, you know, that should come see you, right? Where maybe they're getting relief through chiropractic, but maybe they're still feeling like they could have a deeper, more holistic experience and have more relief.
Absolutely. And the thing is that a lot of times people get up to a point, you know, they hit that wall and they can't get past the injury and part of it is that there's more to chiropractic than just moving a bone. Okay. Now, I'm not a nutritionist either. I don't sell things. You know, what I do is I do things that help support. I try and figure things out. You know, do we talk about exercise? Sure. Do we have any conversations about nutrition? Yeah. But do I have a stack of vitamins on my wall? No. Do I have a lot of things that I'm going to try and shove down your throat as a provider? No. It's like, let's see how we can maximize your performance, just like I've done for, you know, 20, you know, going on 26 years in strongman, 27 years as a chiropractor. How can we maximize performance with just the adjustment? You know, I mean, listen, we've got people that now, you know, through YouTube and other social media platforms, you know, last year I had a guy from Spain, which he told me, he says, you're kind of a big deal in Spain. I'm like, hey, I like this guy, right? But, you know, we had a young guy who drove from Mexico. You know, we had a guy who had a headache for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Well, let's further complicate it. He had also artificial discs in his neck that were implanted in Germany, but he also had artificial discs in his low back. Well, that is not your standard chiropractic patient.
Yeah, right.
That is a specialty case.
Absolutely.
That requires experience and skill sets beyond, you know, a guy's been out 5 years. You know?
Sure.
Now,
sure.
We all start somewhere. And my exposure has been on the hardest, most dysfunctional, broken human beings.
Right.
You know, people who were factory workers for many years, people who had terrible scoliosis, but it wasn't your standard scoliosis. It was caused by polio. you know? So, I mean, I'm kind of an in-betweener that I've been able to experience all these weird things, right? Couple that with my own injuries and my own accomplishments and my own
gives you a unique viewpoint. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Which
And
reminds me of a joke. I got to share.
That's right.
Can I share the
Yeah,
joke?
Yes.
Yeah. You know how you catch a unique rabbit? You unique up on it. I just had it. Well, I mean, we used unique several
Right.
times, so I have to say
That's
it.
right.
Right?
It was sitting right there.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
He was sitting right there.
That's what I do. I know. Anyway, you're going to ask him.
If we can't humor him, he'll humor himself. It's okay.
Right. I'll bring my own bag of jokes. Okay.
Oh, shoot.
That's great.
So a couple more things on the business front. So I want to understand, when should somebody come see you?
I always tell people if you're having something that even your medical doctor can't figure out, maybe it isn't a medical problem, maybe it's a chiropractic problem. All right. If you're going to PT and the PT isn't working, continues not to work, maybe all you're doing is creating a stronger, crooked problem.
Yeah.
Right. That will eventually break harder down the road. So if you are struggling with your chiropractor, maybe you can talk to your chiropractor. I mean, I've got colleagues of mine who actually send me their very tough cases. Maybe talk to your chiropractor, and say, hey, listen, maybe you refer over. However, if you want to short circuit and cut all of that out on the front side, start with me first, as opposed to start with me last. And, really understand too. I mean, you can go to Instagram and you can see that there are all these people out there and they're like $45 and they'll give you free x-rays and a free TV and a vacation and whatever. So that, everybody's going to go ahead and come to them. Right. And they'll be really, really nice, and maybe it smells good in there. I don't know, but all these things, but it's, I call that fluff. Yeah. Okay. If you want somebody who wants to do the best they can for you, shop for a chiropractor like you're shopping for a brain surgeon. Okay. Are you going to go in there and be concerned about anything other than your situation,
right?
Your ache, your irritation, your pain, your dysfunction, whatever. Are you worried about a coupon if your wife has a tumor in her head?
Right.
No. Are you going to look up Google reviews to see if this brain surgeon's really all that in a bag of chips?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all I ask people, to do is, consider what we do, but also at the same time, expect to pay for expertise.
Sure.
I'm not going to toot my horn and I'm not trying to. I've developed some skill sets that really work, and people come from all over the world to get that. And I'm right here in Fishers, Indiana. Why in the world would you go anywhere else? If you work, if you're part of the NFL, why would you ask for anybody less than the person who's developed skill sets and technique applications to make an athlete perform at not just 100%, 120%. You really have to ask yourself that. And should there be a coupon for that? No. Do you want skill or do you want fluff and buff?
Yeah,
or
right.
a moment in which you feel good?
Yeah, right.
What are we here for?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's, listen, you can tell I like having fun. I tell bad dad jokes. Okay. maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I love what I do.
Well, I think that comes across. It shows. It shows that you love what you do, and it shows that you're passionate and you care about the people, and you want to see them have the same ability to continue doing the things they love to do that you did. It's such a unique interview that we have here where lots of times we break this up into the business and the personal side.
And we've intertwined both here.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're so closely intertwined.
They are.
Yeah.
For me personally, the way that I would express this in, non-correct chiropractic terms is I feel like you individualized a holistic plan for me with a proven process. And I think that's what really attracted me to you and your service, right? You looked at me, you understood what the plan was. You had a method and a proven process to treat it specifically, and you acted upon it, and I got relief. And so the other places I've been did fractions of that, and I did experience some relief, but it wasn't nearly as substantial or impactful to me as overall as what I've experienced with you. And I just wanted to let you know that.
I'm thankful. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for the opportunity to help you, that you've given me that chance to prove myself, because that's all I want to do. And the thing is that I have been lower than a snake's belly myself from my own experiences of being injured and being told that my life is over. I bring that to the table. And with everybody who comes in, that's how failure is not an option.
Right.
That's a statement we made at the very beginning.
Yeah, right.
It's not an option in my office either. Now, how long does it take? Oh, well, it's an injury. It's been there 20 years, 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, right.
But see, this is the other component is, I always try and front load for people too. It's just like yourself, you front load what it is that's happening right now. We discuss what happened before, and then we talk about how it is that we're going to apply what it is that we know that works consistently and has worked consistently for almost 30 years. And then we apply it, and then we get you back where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
And will it be perfect? That is a pipe dream. Anybody that thinks it's going to be perfect or that it's done doesn't understand how to maintain a house, for example. Your
Grass
body
keeps growing. Yeah,
your body is a house. It is a place you live. So where are you going to live when your body wears out? If you don't take care of it.
Yeah.
You're going to live in shambles.
Well, you two hugging it out. I feel like I should leave the room here. You guys giving personal test. You want me to turn the camera off and leave the room?
Yeah, bromance. All right,
this is a true bromance blooming over here.
But it's respect.
Like an awkward third party over here.
But it's respect, right?
Yeah,
and listen, and this is the thing, that as a chiropractor, I'm the last person to get respect. We can go ahead and say, hey, there's a chiropractor, a physical therapist, and a brain surgeon enter into a bar, I mean, we could tell stories, who's the first one's going to get the respect? Well, the MD will, why? Do you know how many people die in the hands of medical every freaking year? Do you realize that it's between $8,000 and $10,000 spent in healthcare per each individual in the United States, and people still die of pneumonia?
Yeah.
People can't, they're having drug interaction problems. They've got all these things. And again, listen, the more you play, the more complex you play, the more bodies, right? And so in medicine, that's something they have to deal with, right? In chiropractic, fortunately, I don't have to go that deep. However, the expectations are the same, yet the price point that people want to pay is not.
Yeah, right.
And that's just goofed up.
Yeah, it is.
So all I want to see is chiropractic be respected.
Yeah.
But chiropractors have to earn it. And they don't have to earn it because they're a nice guy or nice gal. They earn it through their work.
Sure.
What is it that they do? And listen, it's okay to have, lower level, entry level chiropractic applications. More people need those things.
Sure.
But expect to pay more if you're going to expect more out of
more specialized care.
Right?
And
the guy with the headaches that came from Washington State with the artificial parts had the headache for 5 years.
I can't imagine.
Woke up with it every day, went to bed with it every day. He stood in my office in tears.
I bet.
After his headache was gone for the first time in 5 years.
Wow.
After flying cross country. What is that worth?
Yeah.
What is the value?
You have to ask him.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know that there is, I don't know if you can't put a number on that, your health and well-being and how you feel every day. I mean, that's just, I don't know that you can put a number on that.
Well, and there are great chiropractors out there that people don't know about. And so, for me, I want to market for myself, of course.
Sure.
But at the same time, I want people to know that there are very talented doctors out there. You're just going to have to dig them up, and you're not going to find them on, Insta Twitface.
Yeah.
Yes.
For $45 and free this and free that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, we're fortunate here in Hamilton County. We have a lot of very talented chiropractors. And I can say that, it's fun when those chiropractors refer me. They're very, very tough ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
when
it speaks to your work.
but
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, once I get them past the crisis, I don't have a problem sending them back to their regular chiropractor.
Right.
Yeah.
So fine, let me be the specialty guy. That's fine. Give me the hard stuff. I don't care. It may take time to get through them, but it's all based upon each individual, right? And that's the other thing. It goes back to what you were saying. It is individualized. And you're not the same person after the first adjustment. People are often like, oh, well, hold it. And you didn't do the same adjustment on the second visit that you did on the first visit. The guys that I came from all do exactly the same thing on all 5 of me and my kids and this and that. And that's probably one of the number one complaints that I hear when people come from other offices is regardless of situation, I got exactly the same thing.
That goes back to that one size fits all that we talked about earlier too. So
they call it the flying 7, just so you know. So, anybody that is shopping for chiropractic, ask them, do you do the flying 7?
Right.
And watch him get uncomfortable.
It's the old proverb, right? A wise tailor measures his client anew every time he sees him.
Yeah.
Right.
I never even considered that part. I was thinking more of a painter.
Profit.
Let's get over to the personal side. Let's learn more about you as a person and what drives you, what motivates you.
You don't want to dig it.
But we're going to try it anyway.
Yeah.
Let's get down in the mud and dig. We're going to dig through it.
I think the mic's not working.
We got technical difficulties.
I don't think it matters.
This has been it. He's out
through mine.
Yeah, go figure. I've got one of those big voices.
So are you an early bird or a night owl?
I am. You know what? Honestly, I think at my age, I'm to a point. It depends on the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I used to think, okay, I liked being a night owl, and I've transitioned to. I do pretty well in the morning. I probably could get up early in the morning, but there are days I just don't want to.
Right.
Right.
Well, you're entitled to your own opinion. Right?
Yeah. Well, at least until my wife changes it.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Music. What kind of music
That's
do you
what I was
listen
going to
to?
say. Music. Yeah.
Well, I think I love classic rock.
Okay. What's classic anymore? It's 70s, 80s classic for us.
I love a little Ozzy.
Okay.
Right. I love a little Charlie Daniels.
Okay.
I like Hootie and the Blowfish.
Okay.
I mean, I have a very wide genre. I mean, I love Chopin. As far as listening to Chopin, we listen to that in the office quite often. Piano, love piano. The big thing for me, again, it's one of those things. When I listen to music, it's like all these flavors in my scotch.
Yeah, sure.
That people don't typically pick up until you put it on the label and you read it. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's a little green apple. There's a little this. There's a little dirt in it.
Right.
That kind of stuff. But music is not. It's not a single layer. When you play music, there's many, many layers.
Sure.
And I like listening to all of the layers.
Yeah.
But I'm like that with food too. I love food with flavor.
What's your favorite kind of food? What ethnicity? Are you Italian food, Mexican food?
You know what? I'm surprised I don't weigh 400 pounds because I like all food.
Really?
The big thing for me, if you want to talk about personal, if it has an onion in it, I'm not eating it.
Oh, really?
Yes. Anything else goes. And I don't think I'll eat snails.
Yeah.
But I guess if they're cooked right, maybe.
Yeah, right. I'll try them.
But no, yeah. I love Italian food, Mexican food. I love a fresca salsa, for example, which is the chiles or the jalapenos, with the cilantro and the tomato, and they put a little lemon on it, and it's like pow. I love that flavor,
right?
Well, but it's clean.
Yeah,
it's got that clean taste to it. But at the same time, dude, I love a nasty old Spanish hot dog, no onions again. But
That's
you
right,
throw cheese on it or not, don't even care. But yeah, that's good. I guess I'm kind of like a billy goat, right?
You'll eat anything.
Except the onions,
You're a
right?
Scotch
Except for
drinking Billy
onions,
Goat.
yeah.
Oh, Scotch
Yeah.
drinking, yes, absolutely.
What's your favorite Scotch?
Oh, of course, Lagavulin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a good Scottish. My last name is McDougle, so there must be something to it because that is like the bomb for me.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, I drink that and it's just wow.
Yeah, we should have poured some Scotch. Well, he's probably
should.
going back to work after
Yeah.
this.
No, I'm not going back to work.
We'll have one off camera.
I'm not going to be doing my Peloton like some
Right.
people, but no, But no, I love Scotch, and it's so funny because until a buddy of mine went to Scotland, came back and said, "Hey, dude, you got to try this." I would have assumed that I just don't like Scotch. Now,
Right.
there are a lot of people out there who absolutely love bourbon. Can't do bourbon.
Yeah,
I'm not a bourbon.
I'm not
I
a
don't like
bourbon guy. I've tried to.
Nope.
I've tried, and it's like I can't. It's not my thing.
Yeah, Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
Nope, can't do that.
I do
either.
like Irish whiskey.
Do you?
I do.
You like
Yeah.
Jameson and all that?
No, I do not like Jameson. I like
Yeah.
Redbreast though.
Okay.
It's a very, very good Irish whiskey.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's one of those things we'll try one
Yeah.
of these days soon. I don't know, but so far I've not been impressed with any of that. The one go-to. We even talked a little bit about Oban.
Do you like
or whatever.
Oban?
Yeah, it's okay,
Yeah.
but it's no Lagavulin.
All right.
Uh-huh.
It may be a stretch then for you to like Redbreast.
Maybe.
I was going to say if you did like Oban, I would be surprised if you didn't like Redbreast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would be interesting. I would try it.
it's a gentle step
Right?
away.
If there's no onions in it,
but
I'll try it.
It's a large step away from Lagavulin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Redbreast, extra onions.
I like it. Yeah, right. Yeah.
No cheese.
No cheese, yeah.
But you know what though? I mean, it's just one of those things. It's not like I drink a lot, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I am going to do it, I won't make it worth my while.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
It's like a good cigar. I don't claim to be a smoker, but you get a little Nicaraguan cigar that has a little bit of chocolate in it and
Sure.
wow. And the smell that comes off of it,
Yeah.
amazing. So
Yeah.
if I'm going to do it, I'm going to, and that doesn't have to be a $50 cigar either.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's just, it's a good cigar.
Same thing
I
with
like
a bottle of wine. There's good $15 bottle of wine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Mad Dog. That's great
Oh
stuff.
God, that's terrible.
Yeah. That's the best stuff
Mad Dog
ever.
2020.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's how it got
sophisticated.
started. Yeah, that's
It's
right.
right.
His bottom
That's
shelf.
That's right. High class. guy
That's right.
there.
Right next to
Boone's
Purple
Farm.
Passion.
Yeah, that's right. Purple Passion, Boone's Farm, and Mad Dog. That's right. That's all we need.
Yeah.
How about movies? TV? You watch anything?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. A couple of my favorite actors, the one in particular, he just did The Equalizer. Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's got the 3 Equalizers. But I mean, even beyond that, you go back even further to The Bone Collector or any of those things.
I love The Bone
Yeah,
Collector. That's
Denzel
really
Washington
good.
is amazing. But I also liked.
What did he win the Oscar for? Training Day. Training Day.
Training Day
right?
was good, yeah.
That's what Denzel won.
Yeah.
the
He's
Oscar
done
for, yeah.
some amazing films. So, I like that. I'm an action film guy.
Okay.
I'm not a horror film guy. Not really. I mean, I'll enjoy some of it, but it's not a thing. But action, it's kind of like for me, there are certain sports I'll watch.
Mhm.
Badminton probably is not one of them. Right.
Yeah.
But hockey, I could sit and watch hockey all
Yeah.
the time. I mean, it's, I don't know, maybe it's the ADD part of me where I'm
You
back
have
and
to-
forth like this, or where to go, like that dog, where'd the treat go, that kind of thing. But
Squirrel.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, we're gonna have that new hockey arena that they're building over there by all the
Yeah, it's in Fishers, right?
Yeah, right there.
Really?
Yeah, it's for the Indy. What are they called now? I always want to say Indy Ice. That's what they used to be
Is
years
it
ago.
the 11?
Fuel.
Oh, Fuel. Okay.
11s of soccer. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Indy Fuel, and
Yeah.
they are now.
Well, they're building a new stadium for the soccer team for 11 too, aren't they? Or is that
yes,
on
but
pause?
that's downtown. Yeah, Indy 11. Well, it was on pause. 'cause
Weren't they developing that on like
Yeah,
an
on
Indian
like
burial
Yeah,
ground?
an old graveyard. That's they hit a few bodies and it's caused a delay on that. But yeah, the fuel
stuff
is built-
happens.
Yeah, because the fuel. Yeah, it's pretty common.
listen.
Don't tell me you've never
Yeah.
dig a hole.
I
and
know.
bring it
Next
to
thing
a
you
body.
know.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Well, they
better stop.
We're getting into Goodfellas
Yeah,
territory.
I know, right?
No, it's right over real close to us.
What if they're looking for a chiropractor?
Maybe they are. You're
Maybe.
close.
Well,
Yeah.
Better hit them up.
Yeah. Well, They should come. Shouldn't they come to me?
Yeah. Well, I'm
You know,
sure. As they
otherwise,
view
then
this
I'm just like
podcast-
everybody else.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, hi, I'm here.
Maybe they'll be one
Yeah.
of the 14 people that watch this podcast.
There it is.
Right.
There it is.
Yeah.
That I think that is awesome.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to spread it all over the
Yeah.
airways.
I think we're going to get to 15 on this one.
I think we are too.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going for 16. Okay.
I don't know how he people's in his family, but have them watch it separate.
Yeah, my family. Yeah,
If they wouldn't mind, I'd make my family all watch it in a separate room.
Uh-huh.
I need the views, guys.
All right,
That's
let's
awesome.
get to the picker wheel.
Yes, it's my favorite.
I don't even know what that is.
I know.
That
It's
sounds
going to
edgy.
require you to turn
Oh, it is.
around
Oh, really?
So,
and look at the screen.
what I'm going to do here is I am going to,
Which way do I turn?
present
Either way.
Doesn't
way.
matter.
What's your good way?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this
Get your
cord
good
only
side.
has
There you
limited
go.
That's right.
flexibility.
Share screen. We are going to now go to the picker wheel, and what we have here is a bunch of random topics.
Oh boy.
Favorite part of the show here, we will spin the wheel, and whatever it lands on, we will have a little discussion about.
Well, this is interesting.
Or not. Depends on the topic.
I know that's right. Yeah, I know. Topic
Let's
could be
hope it's alien.
Oh, that's my favorite
like
one.
aliens.
Me too.
We've gotten that a lot.
And
It's on it.
look
That's
at
it.
that. We're going. Look at that.
You called it.
You
called
know,
it.
I can't win the lottery. What?
I know
just don't
it probably
get
requires that you play it.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's impressive. So
Yeah, you can't even make that up.
I know.
Right,
Look at that.
right.
We,
So
it's
tell
landed a
us
couple
about
times.
what do you feel
He
about
thinks
UFOs,
He
aliens?
thinks I've got that weighted, by the way, because it keeps
You do.
landing.
You've got some kind of
I
weighted
don't know
average
how
on that
it's- I
thing.
don't know how it's happening.
I don't
Out of the
'Cause I-
25 podcasts we've done,
I love talking about it
It's
too.
20 times it's
Yeah.
been UFOs and aliens,
What is it, Sagan, that says,
or
if
maybe
there- if there-
18. Yeah.
if there's no other people or no other beings out there in space, what a waste of space. it
Yeah.
is. You know,
Yeah.
and I kind of think that way as well. You know, it's always interesting because people would rather go ahead and go to quantum concepts where all the energy touches all the other energy, and they want to focus on that, but nobody wants to talk about other potential beings in the universe,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right?
Which is it's really kind of crazy, and I think there's a variety of reasons for that we won't dive into, but I think it's great. I mean, it's insane that we had congressional hearings,
Mhm.
full acknowledgement of contact from something we don't know what it is,
Yeah.
and no one cares. Like no one,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like we had legit. If for the first time growing up, if we had ever been told, "Oh, our government will fully acknowledge that there are craft in the sky that they're not quite sure what it
Yeah.
is, and potential biological entities, whatever that means."
Yeah.
And nobody really cares. We're kind of like, all right, TikTok, we'll move on to swipe to the next one.
Well, until the giant mothership,
That's right, yes.
locates itself over the Capitol, like in
Independence Day.
Independence
Yeah.
Day.
That's right.
Yeah, probably nobody's going to pay really close attention.
Yeah,
to it.
right.
Until it impacts them personally.
Yeah, right.
But
That's-
you know
yeah.
what though? That's everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Everything is like that. People in society today, more than any other time, I think in history, are reactive only.
All right.
Nobody prepares for anything. However,
Yeah.
I say nobody. There are those that are preparing for terrible things to happen, and so I think stock in Patriot supplies is going up, right? So I mean, so there are those that are the preppers, right? But the majority, it's whatever comes. So, but do we have a plan if the big dog alien comes down and says, "Take me to your leader"?
Yeah.
Well, who are we going to take it to?
Yeah.
Right now,
Right.
right now, I don't know the guy who's sitting in the White House is the guy to talk to, honestly.
I don't know if anybody in Washington.
Well, I don't
is-
know if
yeah.
he knows anybody's talking. Right?
Well, maybe he's shaking the hands of aliens now on stage.
Who
we
knows?
just don't know it.
That's right. Who would know? Because we'll be the last to know what's going
right,
on. We will be
right.
the last to know. That's what's crazy about it, is that there's so much that has been acknowledged and so much that we don't know. I think a lot of that's what it is like they're not hiding a whole lot. They don't know what the hell it is either.
Right.
There could be a lot of that.
And
as
there's so much, with video footage that's come out with so many people that you can't deny it anymore.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right. I mean,
Mhm.
and granted,
Used to
there's
be-
a lot of
It used to be grainy footage,
Yeah.
Sasquatch videos, where it was like, I don't know. I got
but again, maybe it's the wonderful AI that's in the news all the
Yeah.
time, and so the AI is actually producing better quality alien stuff.
what a great
right?
diversion. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
what a great time for AI to come along. Just in time for
Right.
people to be like, that video's not right. I know it looked like an alien.
Yeah.
No, that's all fake. That's all CGI.
That's right.
That was AI. You know, it's not real.
We don't know. We don't know.
We don't know.
But no, I think there's aliens out there. Yeah, I do. I can't think that we have all that space
Right.
again.
That's right.
And there not be other life forms to whatever degree. And honestly, have you driven in a roundabout lately?
Every day.
Okay.
We do live in fissures.
Listen,
you know?
if this is the best that we have as life forms, those individuals that can't navigate a freaking round circle,
yeah.
then there's no hope.
That's right.
There's no hope. My wife's like, why is it? Well, listen, they've done all that work on 37. And honestly, it takes me so little time to get most of us live that way. But you go ahead and you hop on 37, and then somehow there's always this one person that doesn't understand that the speed limit is not 45. And they've plugged everybody out. And then their cousin apparently is in the other lane.
Yeah.
Driving 50.
Yeah. And that makes no sense.
How is it you can screw up a straight line?
I think the only conclusion that you can make is you can't outrun stupid.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't. It doesn't work.
And they'll follow you wherever you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly
So
right.
back to the alien things, I think maybe the aliens may watch a few roundabout things.
And they're just laughing at us.
No, I think they're just going to go on by. It's like, that planet will self-destruct.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we'll come in and we'll plan our own stuff.
Good luck with those
right.
guys.
Yeah.
Right.
We only got another 10, 15 years. Let's wait them
They're
out.
good.
All right, we'll beam
They
ourselves
can't even
back
do
here.
a roundabout correctly.
Right?
Let's get off that planet.
Let's throw them a dinosaur or two, and that'll take care of it because they'll argue about it. PETA will argue about it, and then this party will argue about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah,
Doc,
so-
thanks for coming on with us, man.
Yeah, I know. This has
Yeah.
been fantastic.
We'll have you on again.
You didn't like my dinosaur.
That's right.
What dinosaur?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah, there's the dinosaur right
Well,
there.
it's funny because my short arm, I'm like a Todosaurus Rex. So my short arm.
McDougle Rex.
Yeah, I know, right?
McDougal Rex.
Yeah, there it is.
Hey, where can people find you?
I actually am right next door.
So I know where to find you.
Right.
I hear you all damn day long.
They know where the heck we are.
That's right.
It's so funny because somebody actually heard some of the pounding the table because the table does the drop mechanism, right?
Right.
And a guy came over and he's like, "What in the world is that noise?" And I go, "That's me making money."
The cash register.
That's right. That's me making money.
That's my cash
Good
register.
job.
But listen, if you want to go ahead and find me, it's super easy. INchiropractic.com. I'm not even going to give you my name because people always screw up how to spell my name.
Todd
But yeah, I know, right? And they always spell ALs and all these other things. But no, if you go to INchiropractic.com, you'll find me. We've got tons of videos, with advice from your team. I've changed up some things, and it looks so much more presentable, don't you think?
Yes.
And so we've got a lot of YouTube channels, so you can find me on Instagram. If you go ahead and you type in #StrongmanDoc on any social media, you will find me. You'll see videos of me working on the top strength athletes, men and women in the world, all over the place. We got our YouTube videos as well. So no, listen, it's for me, it's a matter of if you want help and you understand that you need to pay for good help, call me.
Absolutely.
Send me a message. I'm not here to fail anybody. That's not what I'm here for. And I don't like failing, not for myself or for your wife or you or your wife, your family members. It's not an option. But we got to figure it out. And that takes work. And if it takes time and work, you should pay the man just like anybody else gets paid.
Absolutely.
Well,
I think your passion is shown through here today for sure. And that's why we wanted to definitely make sure we talk to you because we're big admirers of your work you do and you as a person. You're a pretty nice guy too. So
don't let it get out. I got a
know,
reputation.
I know.
My wife now is going to have expectations.
We're going to cut that part out.
Yeah,
anyway,
good, good. Snip, snip. But,
right.
Listen,
Well,
guys,
thanks
thank
again.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you both. I really do appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to see how terrible I look on camera. Am I thin?
You're good for now. Thanks, Doc.
You lost 20 pounds.
At least.
It's all good. Thanks for coming on, man.